Nick Ainsworth driving the team down a steep hill. Keep an eye on the pony yokes and stuff and how that D-ring harness is working as the team goes down the hill, and it's doing its job. That'll be good. And I'm way too close. Not close enough to that handsome dude. What say, Nick?
Not sure.
You've had 21 years to become sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to introduce you to our help today. This is Kami, 18-year-old registered Belgian mare, and Kami's owner, Andy Herzog, and Jake Sherlock. Jake's got his team here today. We'll show in a little bit. We had a lot of people ask about logging with tongs. And when we're using a single horse or a team on the ground, we use tongs quite a bit more. And so we got 2 teams of horses and 1 single, and we're going to be using tongs behind the single. As everybody knows, the advantages to the tongs are quick hitch and unhitch. And right there's your disadvantage. Occasionally they come unhooked when you don't want them to. I think what happened, I had a piece, I was cutting off the trimming off there. And that's what he was hooked into instead of the actual log.
Stand in front of her while you hook it.
There we go. Got a wider spot on the tongs and the scissor actions will work. I'll zoom right in on those. Andy's got it up to a good skid road. We'd have a heck of a time getting our carts in here with a pair. So that's why we like to use a single horse. You see that a lot logging. We've got a little bigger one this time. We may or may not cut it in half. Kami's a pretty good old girl, but there's no sense taxing her. Again, for anybody unfamiliar, we're cutting all the ash. This is a maple woods, a sugar woods, but we're cutting all the ash because we are about the last place around where the ash isn't already dead. And give it another year, this is going to be dead and of no value. So you may as well cut any ash tree with value now, at least where I live. Because it's just going to die. It's not going to be any good if you don't. We're not managing it the way we normally manage woods. Look at there, that's how tongs work well. That's quite a lot. Don't be afraid to ask for us to, yeah, we'll cut her for you, Andy. Okay. Jake, would you mind cutting that? Chainsaw, where is the chainsaw? You'd think a logger'd know where his chainsaw is. I always joke that that's the #1 rule of logging is to not run the saw over. The #1 safety rule, don't run your chainsaw over. Put it out of the way where you're not gonna smash it with a skidder or a horses or a log truck or a tree.
You pull that forward even a foot or two so it don't drop. It's going to drop in that hole. Or do we want to put a couple limbs under it?
I think it'll pop right up out of there once I get the log on it. I think it'll be okay.
Okay. You want me to cut the 8-footer or you want to do
Back there.
Yeah, this lug has 4 8-footers in it, and Andy's, I know videos never show perspective, but he's got to go uphill with it. Beginning of... beginning of a day here, so we don't want to ask all Kamie's got out of her this early. Nick, if you'd like to turn the team around, go ahead and grab that hitch. I love watching Andy work with Kamie. I was reading a Small Farmer Journal from 1980 or something, and there was a article Lynn Miller wrote about a guy up in Idaho with his horse. Had a nice picture. The guy was riding his horse, working at Single in the Woods and riding it. And Lynn Miller's quote was that they're one. The teamster and the horse were so good and so close together that it was hard to tell where the horse ended and the teamster started. And that's what I like to say about Andy and Kamie. Just a beautiful relationship between a man and his horse. So I'm gonna get you right down here and we'll watch. See how Andy, just how easy it was to latch onto. You want to hang on just a second, Andy? I'll help Nick get hooked here. I'll show you from a different view what we're doing and why it works well with the single hoss. Yes, I moan and groan when I walk. I didn't used to. So Andy got them out to this good skid road here with a single horse. And then we can get a cart hooked to it. Hello, girl. And take them all the way out with the team. We'll have one more for Kamie. And then we'll hook on with Jake's team. Here's your tongs in action. They don't snag as much because they're kind of a arrow shaped thing. So they don't get snagged as much as a choker. And the ease of hooking and unhooking is good. Did you forget your gloves, Nick?
They got wet and I didn't want to wear them.
Grab another pair out the truck if you want. Whoa, Jimbo.
What?
We've been skidding down an icy hill, and even though it's a few warm days in a row, we had it froze in pretty good. It's still icy here under our feet out there ahead of Elvis. And the logs have been sliding back and coming unhooked and actually causing pretty good danger, getting right there where they'll hurt the horses. So we put a chain across the axle.
Oh, thank you.
And now the logs hit that chain instead of sliding forward. Back him up once more. Gotcha, son.
Ooh.
So, Nick's a good teamster. Got him backed up. And that chain is preventing the logs from sliding forward. Now, we usually like the arch on the cart, but there's the one disadvantage. So we overcame that pretty simply. Nick's on his way with a hitch. And Andy would go skid some more, but he's caught up to me. I don't have any cut. And Jake Sherlock's gonna grab this hitch here and head down. Excuse me. My noise is on the camera. Zoom in a little. Jake Sherlock from Springville. Driving Blaze and Gilly. And Jake's learning logging. He's modified his Pioneer cart to work for him. Jake is a member of the Collins Draft Horse Ox and Pony Club. That's a local club we've had going for, oh, probably 40 years.
I think we're going to hook that long.
Yeah.
Kind of like I did before.
I think so, yeah. I can stand right next to your lines for you, Jake. And Jake wisely is having me hold on to his lines where he keeps them real handy himself, so the team just doesn't step off while he's getting hooked. They're new to logging. How new are you to horses, Jake? How long have you been doing it?
We got the team in June, so 7 months we've had the horses.
Yeah. Well, you're doing off to a nice start with them.
Yeah, these teams, they haven't tried to kill me yet, thank goodness. I'm just gonna walk them up. All right, step up a little. Step up deep. Step up.
There you go. Trying to work the phone and I'm not smart enough sometimes. Trying to zoom in a little.
Step up a little. Step up.
Yeah, it's icy. It might not show it on the camera, but it's icy under this. It's a 40-degree day, but it's icy because we got this road froze in from working on it. And off they go with a couple of ash logs. That's one length, and we're going to cut it into 2 8-footers once we get to the landing. I guess. Looks like Kamie's ready to get to work. Andy and I are going to have to get to work cutting and skidding, so these guys got more work when they get back with the carts.